Welcome back to Sunday Vibes, one and all, and the Dream Team are back together. Chris Hamill, Patrick Van Straten, and me, Joe Tomlinson.
Assemble.
You guys have been sending your questions all week. We're going to answer them on this Sunday. We're shooting this on a Thursday, but never mind. First one comes from Fournier Nick. He says, is N'Golo Kante the obvious choice for Premier League Player of the Year? And if not, who else would you pick? Pato, what are you saying?
Well, that question kind of answers itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, N'Golo Kante is the obvious choice for Player of the Year. I mean, if we didn't have him in the league, then there are quite a few candidates, actually.
Yeah.
I think in a team which has been all over the place all season, I think Gylfi Sigurdsson has been consistently good.
Well, that's a left field shout.
I think Idrissa Gueye's been great, like really shored up an Everton side whose defence has been like a nightmare over the last few years.
Yeah.
And of course Sanchez as well. Like Sanchez has been annoying me this season. He can be very selfish and a bit repetitive when the chips are down.
Yeah.
But the guys, I think third or fourth top in assists and third or fourth top in goals as
Yeah,
well. He's
very
been involved
impressive.
in 27 goals this season. Those are outrageous numbers.
They are outrageous numbers. I mean, there's a few players that I think Harry Kane has to be in with a shout again when he scored as consistently as he did. I mean, he was out for 4 months or 3 months at the start of the season, wasn't he? With an injury. And he missed a load of games there, had no trouble picking his form back up straight away, always involved in the goals. Without him, Tottenham look a completely different team. He's so crucial to that front line. And his connection with Dele Alli, who's another name worth mentioning here, has been incredible this season.
Dele Alli's quietly got 14 Premier League goals.
I know. And,
14.
And if that connection continues, both for England and Tottenham, it's very, very exciting. I think Harry Kane and Dele Alli are really good shouts.
Your boy Antonio Valencia as well.
Yeah, Valencia.
He's had a really good season.
Valencia has had an outstanding season because I think a lot of people thought under Louis van Gaal that was it for Antonio. He was shifted back to a right back. I think everybody thought Mourinho was eventually going to move him on and get a more defensive fullback in, but he's proved everyone wrong. And with his age, everybody thought as well that he's so reliant on pace that he would just fall off. But hats off to him.
He's wrestled Darmian out for that hotly contested right back position at Manchester United.
But no, Dele Alli or Harry Kane, I would say, is my outside shout.
I mean, you can't look any further than some of the Chelsea boys too. Eden
Yeah.
Hazard had a great start to the
Yeah.
season. Diego Costa's got, 16, 17 league goals. And if we're going to go with goals, Romelu Lukaku deserves a special mention.
Yeah.
He is
Big
chipped in with 53% of his team's goals. That's goals scored or assists.
That's
He's
mental.
having a mental season. And we had a little conversation before this. I think there's a couple of teams in the league, Manchester United and Chelsea in particular, that are one Romelu Lukaku away from wrapping up the league title.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. It's that tight at the top. I think a striker of his calibre could really make the difference. But yeah, props to your boy Ibra as well. I mean, David Luiz, Marcos Alonso, Azpilicueta in that Chelsea makeshift back three. Solid. May have turned the tide after, 8 weeks of that Conte reign, but yeah.
And one more name I'll say is Sadio Mane.
Yes.
His impact at
Before
Liverpool.
the AFCON,
before the AFCON. His impact at Liverpool can't be underestimated. Probably not quite at the level of the likes of Harry Kane and the Lukaku's, but equally, he's been a massive signing for that Liverpool team. And next season, he could be a real shout to challenge as the best player in the league. Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool suffered, didn't they, with a lack of squad depth, but I think next season they'll be
Right up there. Hope that answers your question, Fournier Nick. The next question comes from Brashinator on this international weekend, of course. He says, considering England's performance versus Germany, does Southgate seem to be getting the best out of the England squad? It was his 5th game in charge, obviously his first loss as well in charge. I watched the game. I know you boys missed it, unfortunately. It was an unbelievable performance from England in that first half. In that first half was as good as I've seen England play since the last time we were in Germany. I don't remember that game when we came back from 2-0 down to win 3-2. Thumping Eric Dyer header in the last minute.
Jamie Vardy scored an outrageous back heel.
Outrageous back heel. But we were very, very good in the first half. Not particularly clinical. Dele Alli missed a chance. Vardy missed a chance. In fact, Dele Alli missed a couple of chances. But he played with 3 at the back, which I thought was quite interesting. Obviously, something he wants to do going forward, he seemed to be talking about, especially to get the best out of John Stones. He seemed to be basically saying that.
He was missing, wasn't he? And he's
He
best
was.
suited to that system, I'd
But
say.
you had players like Michael Keane in there. Michael Keane looked extremely comfortable on the ball. I didn't realise how good he was in possession. He looked very good. You had players like Livermore obviously not quite of England's standard at the moment, and probably never will be. He's coming up to his 28th birthday this year. He didn't have his best day. He breaks up play really well, but he struggles so much in transition and creatively. But England overall pressed really high. Their attacking players were dynamic. You had Lallana coming off one wing. You had Dele Alli moving all over the place. You had the wing backs advanced. I was really excited about that performance in the first half. Second half, once we made substitutions and Podolski's goal went in, the game went flat and we had Gladiator tunes being played. Don't know what was going on there. England, though, do have a great squad, Pato.
I say this all the time. Like, I don't know what it is. I think a lot of England fans can't see the wood for the trees. But like, I look at this England squad and I think you've got the best squad you've had in a long time in terms of like talent all over the squad.
Yeah.
Like, there have been times where England have had great midfielders or really good defenders or whatever. But this is actually the first time in a long time where I think they've got a genuine defensive midfielder in Eric Dyer. They've got a genuinely interesting and diverse set of forwards. They've got players in Ali, Kane and Sterling, and probably Stones as well, who will genuinely be world class.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely world class. And then they've got a bunch of interesting guys who are kind of plug in and play guys as well, like Lallana. Plus, you've got the huge advantage, which is that pressing is finally coming to the Premier League, proper pressing. I know that we always hear from pundits, pressing's been going on for years, not the way it is now.
Yeah.
Like, it's much more structured now, and we've got the Guardiola press, we've got the Klopp press, we've got the Pochettino press. These are different styles, and now you've got a team who come along and they understand how this kind of thing works.
Definitely.
So you see connections between, say, Liverpool players and Spurs players, because they at least, even though they play in very different kinds of pressing systems, they understand what they're trying to accomplish. Definitely. I think that can only be a good thing, but I think coaching is going to be the issue. Like, is Gareth Southgate a good manager? I've literally no idea. He's barely managed.
What do you boys think about the 3-5-2 that we had yesterday, with potentially having Walker and Rose as wing backs?
I think that's hugely exciting. You see Walker and Rose's heat map in an average Tottenham game, and they spend a lot of time really high up the field. I think you see their average touch maps as well, and they're as high, if not higher, than the Tottenham midfield. I think, as Pep said, it's better to win possession. As Ilkay Gundogan said recently on NSBC, I think it's better to win possession in the opposition half, because then obviously he transitions quicker. So I think, as Pato said, I think you've pretty much summed it up. Better coaches, the core of the team are those players from the top teams in England who are being coached by these forward-thinking managers. And hopefully things can only get better. But, you know, we're eternally optimistic as England fans, aren't we? And we were saying this about,
Exactly,
you pointed at that 3-2 under Hodgson. We were saying this about them then when they were very, very good despite going behind. But tournament football. Let's give Southgate. Let's reanalyse it after Russia.
Yeah, not won a knockout game at World Cup level since in 10 years, I don't think. In fact, I don't even think we've won a group stage game in 10 years. Maybe that's wrong, but we are
Brazil,
so bad at tournament time. That's what it comes down to. We're always okay at qualifiers. We always seem to get results.
Undefeated under Capello, undefeated under Hodgson in the qualifiers.
It's weird how everyone always wants to blame. People always want to blame the players though, which I think is moronic. Like, it's almost always the coaching. Like, there are genuinely no top level English coaches, none, not a single one.
So true.
That is remarkable. I mean, like, there are none at all, and there are reasons for that. You know, like the FA coaches really, really badly.
Yeah.
But I don't know, until they fix that, that's always going to be the problem. And the players are always going to get saddled with the blame. It's not right. The squad's really good.
Yeah, but I suppose the question for you guys at home is, do you think England can actually challenge at World Cup 2018? Or is it just a pipe dream for us England fans? Let us know in the poll above my head, just here. Whilst we're on the topic of international football, Kareem Hamda has our next question. He says, it's going to be a contested one this. Who do you think will win the World Cup 2018? Pato. Go on, mate.
Glad he came to you first, my friend.
I'm going to go for France.
Ooh, good shout. Good shout.
As we touched on in the previous question, a lot of it will come down to coaching.
Yeah.
But France's squad is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And it's good enough not only to win this World Cup, but the one after that, and even the one after
Oh,
that.
you heard it here
my
first.
God,
Man
a triple header.
What odds did you get on that?
It's so young and so good, the squad. You know, you've got you guys like Pogba and Griezmann, Griezmann isn't terribly young, but these are guys who are actually superstars. Then you've got, you know, solid, experienced players like Koscielny and N'Golo Kante we put in that category by the time the World Cup rolls around. Matuidi as well. But then they've always struggled with fullbacks. Now they've got Mendy and Kurzawa on the left. They've got Sidibe on the right.
Yeah.
You know, they've just got strength absolutely everywhere. That midfield is quality, it's strong, it's powerful, there's good passing on the ball, really good defensive work rate. You know, with Bakayoko and Kondogbia can't even get into the team.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts. I'm so excited
His name's
about
evading
France.
me. Who's the one with the absolute schnoz in the PSG squad? His mum's supposed to be a nightmare. She's his agent.
Oh, Adrien Rabiot.
Rabiot is going to be...
Yeah, he's a hell of a
Say
player.
magnifique. He's a lovely player to watch, very elegant.
What about you, Hamster? Who do you think?
Oh, mate, I'm just a perpetual purist. I like to back Brazil every time a major tournament comes around. They've been horrible in the last 2 to 3 tournaments. Probably because they entrusted Dunga with a second period, which was obscene. But I think Tite, obviously, we've seen it in this qualifying campaign. He's reversed their fortunes dramatically. They went from 7th to 1st after some very impressive back-to-back wins. He's a really interesting guy. He took a year out after he won the Copa Libertadores to study coaching at Real Madrid, actually at Arsenal, actually.
Yeah.
So they'll probably lose in the quarterfinals, come fourth. Oh, banter. Oh,
no need for that.
Sore. But I think the attacking flair in that squad is ridiculous. You've got the likes of Philip Coutinho on the peripheries of the squad.
Yeah.
You've got obviously Neymar. You've got Gabriel Jesus coming to prominence. You've got quite a I say solid defence. Thiago Silva.
You've got no midfield.
David Luiz. I mean, you've got Fernandinho in midfield. Yeah, you're hoping that maybe someone like
Rafinha, I suppose.
Rafinha, or who's the young guy that he really likes?
He likes
who's
Renato
currently
Augusto.
playing in Brazil. Yeah, he likes Paulinho and Renato Augusto, which is strange as they both play in China, but the results can't be disputed with in these qualifying campaigns. They have added solidity to that sort of attacking flair. So I'll be really interested to see if, you know, the Seleção bounce back in Russia. Obviously very cold, so maybe not.
I personally think the winner's going to come from Europe. I'm not sure about the South American contingent. Obviously, Argentina are really struggling in qualifying. I think Brazil are okay. They have a lot of forward talent. I think they're a bit soft-centred. I think Germany look really interesting, obviously, as they do every international tournament, but they do seem to have some incredible talent coming through in terms of the likes of Kimmich, Julian Brandt. They've got Julian Weigl. They've got Timo Werner scoring a lot of goals. They've got some real quality. I also think the Italians, it's hard to look past the Italians. I think for a long time the Italians have missed a decent striker, and Belotti's banging in for fun.
Really, I think they overperformed at the last Euros.
But
because
also,
of Conte. They had the likes of Ida in the team, mate.
Yeah, but the squad's better now.
The squad is better, and also, let's not
but
forget, at the Euros, they had Marco Verratti out injured. They didn't have the central midfield they're used to.
Wasn't convinced. I did enjoy watching them.
I don't know, there's something about the Italians that I think they're very hard to beat, and they just struggle to score goals. But I think Belotti in the team, if he can carry his form in anyway, I think it would be Italy or Germany for me, but probably Germany.
Not even mentioning Spain. We haven't
Probably
mentioned Spain.
Germany.
We haven't mentioned Belgium.
No, Belgium are okay, but they got Roberto Martinez.
Yeah,
and they struggle to get out of the groups. The Spanish are interesting as well, but they're not what they once were. I just don't think they're what they once were.
I don't think that crop of youngsters coming through for Spain is as strong as the likes of
the Germans.
So
Yeah, I think
that's maybe. Joan Laporta, didn't he, recently complained about the lack of players coming through at Barcelona. And I think if Barcelona and Madrid are producing those outstanding youngsters, then Spain struggle a little bit.
And also, I think the balance between Germany's youth coming through, the likes of Julian Brandt and Timo Werner, coupled with the likes of Mats Hummels and Thomas Müller, and they've still got Neuer, Boateng. I don't know, that central defence between Boateng and Hummels that are now joined together at club level as well, I think, is going to be very, very hard to break down.
You know, by that time.
I see Ramos, I see Piqué, I see De Gea. You know, like in the midfield, you've got Thiago and Busquets. Like, I think there's actually strength all the way through. Like Spain are obviously transitioning to a new generation, but it's still a pretty promising one, even if it might not be, you know, the days of Xavi and David Villa.
Yeah, very true. But who do you think is going to win it? Let us know in the comments below right now, because it won't be England. That poll before was pointless. Rico Santana has our next question. He says, let's keep this quick. He says, who is a player you hate for no reason at all?
No
Chris
reason?
Hamill, lead us off.
Oh, I bet Van Straten's got them on tap.
Yep.
Bitter.
I'm
I'm going to
genuinely
go
listening and
with... It's hard to hate someone for no reason, isn't it?
No,
Because,
it's easy.
I mean, Sergio Busquets, a bit of a master of the dark arts, isn't he? You've got the likes of fucking Jordi Alba in that team. He's always yapping in the ref's face with his little moly boat. Chris Boyd, There's a name for you,
Yeah.
household name. Some of his articles recently about Scottish football have been fucking drivel, absolute pish. But no, moving on.
Go on,
Right,
Pato.
I always hated Steven Gerrard. Just hated the bloke. Don't know why.
You
I mean, there are
can
lots
just-
of
wow.
good reasons to hate him, but those aren't the reasons I hate him. I just hate him.
Yeah.
Mario Mandzukic, boring. You know, it just feels like a striker from 30 years ago. Fuck off.
Dull.
Who's next? Nani. I find Nani really tedious. Nani reminds me
No,
of those
I'm
guys who, when you were a kid, you know, you'd like watch football on Channel 5 and it'd be like the Portuguese league and it'd be fucking depressing.
Nanny's the guy who
and
brings the
Nani
ball
would
to
be
school
there.
as well, and
Rubbish.
and picks who can play with him.
Yeah.
Wanker. And I feel like I've got somebody else. Who else is in the tank? Jermaine Defoe.
Really?
Rubbish. He's shit. He's been shit his whole career. He's still shit now.
What?
He's incredibly
He's
overrated.
a fine wine.
He's a disgraceful player. He should go to League Two.
You're interviewing him next week.
Jesus Christ.
Him and Mandzukic.
Jermaine Defoe.
I've got a couple. David Luiz. Got a
David
reason,
Luiz.
so it doesn't really count. But remember when he did that little peekaboo eye to United fans? That was awful
fucking
manoeuvre.
class.
That was great.
Legend.
That's great. You were so cross.
Sideshow Bob.
Old Trafford whining.
What a
Fuck
bastard.
off.
I actually agree with you, Nani. I used to fucking despise Nani. The amount of time you shoot from 40 yards, it got in my head. And also,
Didn't you win your player of the season one year?
I'm not sure. And also,
Embarrassing, mate.
Jermaine Pennant. There was something about Jermaine Pennant. Every time I watched him, he'd give the ball away.
Yeah.
He would just run aimlessly. And he
Apart-
always wore those stupid white socks over his thing.
Over his tag.
Oh, he used to wind me up so
Mate, he was
much.
qualifying that 2007 final against Milan.
Oh, fuck him. I don't care.
There we go.
Awful
Rubbish.
bloke, Jermaine Pennant. And maybe even Jamie Vardy at that length. The final question of the day comes from Gustav Bronson. He sounds like a James Bond villain. And he says, what is the most
Stole my line.
disappointing moment of your football life? This Sunday Vibes has taken a negative turn, hasn't it?
I've got a load
Put him right into my hand.
Yeah. Seeing as the man is miserable anyway, Pato, lead us off.
Well,
Fucking flexing.
Oh, misery.
possibly when Arsenal didn't sign Gonzalo Higuain back in like 2013, because like
Yeah.
it wasn't like Suarez where I never expected it to happen. It genuinely did look like it was happening, and in a way, as much as I love Özil and like I always liked him as a player even before he came to Arsenal, I think that Higuain might have actually pushed us on further.
Yeah.
You know, we maybe needed that more. And other than that, like probably. When Zach joined the company as an intern, and then I got told that he'd been given a permanent possession,
Oh,
and I was
Mamma mia.
livid. It was probably the worst day of my life.
I'm going to go for England every international tournament pretty much, because you're always with your mates as well. You're always with your mates and you're always in like a pub or something, and you're so excited.
Giving it fucking beans.
Yeah,
when
we're
you
going
beat
to do
Lithuania
this.
1-0,
We're going to
like,
do this. And then I remember that penalty shootout where it was fucking Ashley Cole.
Which one? Which one?
Oh.
Italy, Portugal,
I can't
Portugal
remember
again.
which one it was, but that was so disappointing. Yeah, the England penalty shootouts. Because you get your hopes up, and then it just
Why do you get your hopes up?
crumbles. Because I don't
Why do
know. Ever the
Because you're a
optimist.
United fan.
Ever the
The
optimist.
disconnection between being a United fan during the Ferguson years and also being an England fan must have been excruciating for you. Because you expected success, and then you watched England
Poor
just
Joe, he
lose
only got
absolutely
success
everything.
at club level.
Wow.
Fucking
Yeah,
yeah.
but it was just, I
Chuck,
always
you
used to
sports
build up my
sells it.
optimism.
Exactly.
You're like 30 points
Week
clear,
in,
mate.
week out is a cataclysmic disappointment, mate. Going to play Inverness in their shed of a stadium, not getting Sol Campbell because he chooses fucking Notts County instead, or Jay Bothroyd going to fucking Cardiff instead, or something along those
Do you
lines.
get excited when somebody takes the lead against
Man
you?
United
Do you think like maybe
stealing
we'll have
Liam
a draw
Miller
today? Who
Yeah,
knows?
genuinely, there's been times when like another team like Hibs or Aberdeen have won the cup, and I've gone like, good for them. good for them. As long as it's not Rangers. But I mean, when Rangers were relegated, I wasn't one of those Celtic fans who thought who was wishing for them to just be disbanded, because there is no competition. Yeah, as you say. But ultimately, Brendan Rodgers is here. He's
That's the
getting
most
that-
disappointing
He's getting
moment,
that
yeah?
zest
Yeah.
for
Big
football,
Brendan.
Yeah,
for
big
football
Brendan.
back. So Godgers. Moving on.
There we have it. That's our most disappointing moments. So that's all we've got time for on this week's Sunday Vibes. If you want to be involved next week, hit us up on Twitter and in the comments right now using the hashtag Sunday Vibes. Thanks very much to Christopher Hamill, Patrick Van Straten for joining me, you guys at home for watching as well, and we'll catch you next time. Sayonara.
Bye.